Morning everyone, how are we? Today I'm going to discuss something again that I haven't had a chance to discuss on my channel. You might not like it, some of you, because this is kind of a little bit off-piste, you could say. First of all, big thanks to everyone who liked and subscribed. Everyone who's new, thank you very much. You guys helped me smash 200. So now we've got a new challenge. We're going to try and smash 300 by Christmas. So if we could do that, that would be amazing. I need to give a shout out as well to Dean and Reese for all your help with the channel, fellas. Thank you very much. Super appreciated. Right, so today I'm going to talk about YouTube boxing. So that's a bit of a touchy subject where boxing fans, the real boxing fans you could call them, the hardcore, the purists you could say. First off, KSI, Logan Paul and Jake Paul, they're masters of marketing, haven't they? They have got that down to a T. Boxing could learn a great deal from them because they're attracting what you could call the youth of today, aren't they? To their version of our sport in a far more sort of successful way than we're doing it. Even in a way, they've been more successful than UFC have in a way. And you could argue they're doing it in a far more effective fashion than boxing is. I mean, at the end of the day, they're gloving up two human beings and putting them in a ring, aren't they? But are selling it far more successfully than what we're doing. And you could argue that regardless, that audience that they're attracting and they're hooking is really the audience that we need to be doing as a sport if we want the sport to survive and flourish. And they're kind of stealing them off us, aren't they? Because they're better at doing it. I mean, if you look at, let's take the brand, the KSI, Logan Paul, sort of Jake Paul brand, which is the Prime Energy drink. I mean, they've signed Amanda Serrano, who as well is getting paid more money now with the help of Jake Paul than she was without the help of Jake Paul. So who are we to argue with them? They've signed Terence Crawford, who I believe got a 10 million payday from them before the Avanesian fight. So Terence Crawford's not arguing, is he, at their inclusion? They've also signed Volkanovski, who is one of my favourite fighters across any sort of discipline at the moment. They've signed him, they've signed Adesanya. And if you come to the whole sort of Jake Paul circus, you could call it, I, for one, can't argue with the way Jake Paul has applied himself to the sport. I mean, we'll come to his level of opposition next, but he lives the life. He's training as a pro. He's putting all the effort in that any other pro does. Yes, he hasn't gone through the amateur game. He hasn't dedicated his life from the early age of a child. But in terms of what he's doing now, he's not doing any less than any other pro is doing. I mean, yeah, the problem with him and being taken seriously is he's fought a load of old sort of ex-UFC fighters that are either been a lot older than him and a lot smaller than him. So his credibility is going to be harmed by that, isn't it? I mean, I can't argue with him fighting Tommy Fury. And yes, I know the level of Tommy Fury. Before you jump on it, we all know the level of Tommy Fury. And you can't even argue on a personal level what Tommy Fury's done. He's just gone and earned generational wealth in a way that he wouldn't have done in boxing. He's not good enough to earn that kind of level of money in boxing. So who's to argue? What he should have done, though, instead of fighting sort of Nate Diaz after he fought Jake Paul, what he should have done to gain credibility from sort of us, the boxing hardcore, the boxing purists, you could say, he should have then carried on fighting live pros of the level of sort of Tommy Fury. That's what he should have done. And we'd have, at some point, probably accepted his progress, wouldn't we? I mean, who are we to not? I mean, the uncomfortable truth is, especially when you get a lot of the armchair boxing fans who will denounce this and spit on it, is whatever you think of it, a lot of these guys are going through the training and getting in the ring. And the uncomfortable truth is, a lot of armchair fans couldn't make it through a day's training camp, and let alone put gloves on to face another man in the ring. So while they all sit there and shout at it and shit on it about the level of it, you know, they've got some stones to get in there in the first place, haven't they? So, you know, I'm not a fan of it. I don't watch it. I've watched, I think, 2 of Jake Paul's fights. But I don't watch the YouTube Misfits cards because I know what to expect. And this sort of brings me on to the title of the video. You can't talk about YouTube boxing and moan about it and say that it's crap. And I've had friends, and I've even had friends who box ABA and have been ABA champions who I saw the next day on Facebook saying about how shit that was, how poor it was crap, what a waste of money. Well, unfortunately, it's kind of like this. Now, I don't tell the missus to get dressed up and wear something nice and then take it at Witherspoons, you know, because there's levels, isn't there? There's nothing wrong with Witherspoons, but as I say, there's levels, aren't there? It's kind of like this. You can't eat dog shit and then afterwards complain it didn't taste very nice. Because what did you expect? I mean, YouTube boxing sort of exists in a parallel universe, doesn't it? But it seems a lot of boxing fans get it a bit twisted. It's there, and you've got to take it for what it is. You can't watch it, complain about it, moan about it, that it was crap, the quality was crap, and you didn't like it. It is what it is. I don't see that being a problem. If boxing can take 5% of that fan base and transfer it over to genuine boxing, that's only a good thing. You can't sit there and moan about it, because you're moaning about it in comparative terms to professional boxing as we know it. And they're just 2 different things. I mean, Billy Joe Saunders, he boxed on a Misfits card, I believe. Now, he comes from the fighting traveller community, so you don't get any more hardcore than that, do you? You don't get any more purist than that. But even he was aware enough to understand that getting views or visibility on one of those cards is only going to be beneficial. So, you know, what do you want? Yeah, that's all I want to say, really. It's like that, isn't it? Don't eat shit and complain that it tastes like shit. You should know it. You expect it to taste like shit. And that's where YouTube boxing is. Don't watch it and complain about it, that it was crap, because you're comparing it to professional boxing as we know it. And they're not the same. Treat it for what it is. Don't watch it. Don't watch it. Quite honestly, don't watch it. If you feel it's rubbish and you know it's going to be rubbish, you do. It will be rubbish. And that's the problem. You've got to treat it for what it is. Like I said, I don't watch it. I choose not to watch it because I know what to expect. Hey ho. That's really what I wanted to cover. I just think a lot of boxing fans have got it a bit twisted. You can't watch it and then complain that it's crap. You know it's going to be crap. Don't watch it, or watch it with the expectance that it's going to be crap. Anyway, that was my kind of take on it all. What do you guys think? How many of you have watched Misfits cards or the YouTube boxing cards? I'd say probably not many of you, and rightly so. But if you are going to watch it, don't compare it to our game, because it's not the same. They operate in parallel universes, but they're vastly different, aren't they? That was it. Just wanted to cover that, because I've not had a chance to cover that on my channel yet. Like I say, a bit off-piste. I'll be back to doing the proper boxing stuff later on today, hopefully. Anyway, like I said before, if you haven't already, like and subscribe. Let's try and smash 300, fellas. Oh, and a few ladies out there watching. I see you in the demographics, so thanks very much also. Anyway, see you all soon. Peace.